Hey guys, and welcome to another 5-minute mystery. This one's called Death at Andersonville, and I will be trying to solve it. Andersonville military prison, deep in the heart of Tixillin, Georgia, was one of the most dreaded Confederate prison of war camps. It was such a grim place that the rebel soldiers guarding it were fed and clothed a little bit better than their 33,000 Yankee prisoners. From its inception in February 1864 until the Civil War's end 14 months later, 13,000 prisoners would die and an astonishing 29% mortality rate. Many of the Union soldiers succumbed to starvation and exposure to the elements, but some were also murdered, and that was the case with Private Glendenning Bryan. Yeah. Sergeant Crosby, Sergeant Thornton, I don't know what PVT means, I'm afraid. Wisnant, CPL, Horner shared a tent with Brian. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Yeah. If you could call a few small trees limbs that served as poles, plus a few tattered blankets, shelter at all. Privacy was virtually non-existent. And this only added to the shock and dismay when the friendly Brian, a young 19-year-old from Boston, was found dead with a knife wound in his stomach. And the sun came up steamy Monday morning in 1864. Crosby, the 38-year-old no-nonsense commissioned officer, speaking with confidence, he said he's murdered right there. I don't know why. He would have been dead in a few days anyway. Brian in Andersonville, the longest and was the most malnourished and sickest of the 5. Okay. The likable Brian had been killed for food. Well, if it wasn't me who did it, said short-tempered Horner, another native of Massachusetts, as he viewed his friend who lay dead just inches from his bare feet. My hands are useless with arthritis and I can't hold a knife, Horner said. Okay, so let's exonerate Horner, right? It couldn't have been me. I was walking outside most of the night. Most of the night is not all of the night, Crosby pointedly replied. Did anyone see you? Nobody saw me, but I was out walking last night. I was. So Thornton's alibi is not proven, so we can't exonerate him. I was sick, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, and I was down by the sinks all night. They said, Wisnant, and I got back here just a few minutes ago. Crosby hadn't slept in the tent the previous night and told them I was at the other end of the camp trying to get what fresh night air was available. The stench from Andersonville was so severe several miles away. What? Okay. I was asleep only for an hour or so and did not see or hear anything, says Horner. Hmm. Various friends, not with any one person the entire night, but I was never alone. Crosby. Let me exonerate Crosby. Horner didn't sleep well. I did not go in. Hmm. Who said that? Yeah, Thornton said that. Something dodgy about that alibi, isn't there? It was too dark to notice anything unusual. You were sick last night? Right, he replied. I know who killed Brian. Looked at Crosby. Hmm. He was a butcher. So he was a butcher, so a butcher is capable of killing someone, obviously, so... But at the same time, he gets queasy. He was sick last night. Okay. Horner didn't sleep well, says he didn't see you. I know why something is weird about Thornton's alibi, so... So, okay guys, Horner never did it because he has arthritis and he can't hold the weapon. Thornton's alibi does not fit in. Most of the night is not all of the night. I think Thornton is the murderer, guys. I'm gonna say Thornton is the murderer. I'm accusing him of the murderer. I'm probably wrong, but I'm not a very good detective, what can I say? I still like playing this though, so... I was right! Oh man, I was right! The solution was correct, I was right. Wow, I was right, guys. I'm so happy, I wasn't expecting that. And I even got the clues right. Yeah, I got the clues right. I'm really happy. Let's read the explanation. Well, first of all, hang on. I want to say that this was very interesting. Interesting. I'll give it a 10-star rating. Um, right. Did the rating. Now, let's read the solution. It wasn't me. I told you I was on the other side of the camp all night. I was not with any other person, but I didn't say this. I was always with someone. Now was I by myself. Pausing for a moment, he continued. Haunton was in the tent all night. Haunton was in the tent all night. He was awake for much of the time, but slept off for short intervals. I believe him because he wasn't the kid that he couldn't point the finger at me without wincing in pain. Yeah, he's got arthritis. His friends are weak and, yeah. Looking at Wissonant, Crosby said, you aren't the killer either. The Strel so physically ill, especially with the aroma around here. Crosby paused, addressing Thornton. It had to be you. Not only are the rest of us eliminated, but you told a lie. It's not possible to wander around the camp all night without being seen by someone. There are over 30,000 men here. Hang on, I didn't even know there's 30,000 men. Why didn't they mention that? I didn't mean that literally. I believe you did. You had to hide outside the tent and fall asleep and watch for the time that Horner was asleep. So quietly, they could barely hear. I knew he had food. Knew he wouldn't need it much longer. Said nothing to the rebel gods. No questions were asked, no explanations were offered. Thornton survived Andersonville, but was never charged with murder. He was found guilty with the harshest court of all, his own conscience. Yeah, I think that's shit. If you kill someone, your own... That's a terrible thing to say. Why is that a terrible thing to say? That, even though he wasn't convicted of murder, his own conscience. It's like, oh, we're supposed to be happy that he feels bad or something. That's... No. He should be punished. That's ridiculous. Anyway, I got it right. That's the good news. I'm so glad. Thank you for